Maddie Dahlien has no idea what she stumbled into today because she walked in right as we were working on something Christmas related. Maddie, don't spoil the surprise.
We also need to decorate Pod World headquarters here soon, Maddie, with our Christmas decorations. So if you want to stick around, like after the interview, you can help us put up the Pod Christmas tree. It's pretty electric.
We keep our decorations in a big cardboard box.
Box right there.
Fancy.
It's classic.
So now that you're here, let's get to the most important thing first. What's your feeling on Hallmark Christmas movies?
I love Hallmark Christmas
Yeah.
movies. So actually, my stepmom and me always come up with a list that we like to watch over Christmas. So it's super fun. Yeah.
Have you worked
Were
on
you
your
sent
list
from
yet?
heaven, Maddie?
Honestly, I haven't.
Okay.
We've been a little busy, but I'm sure that she's already started working on it.
That's good.
And besides the cringiness, I think they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with Holiday Touchdown, A Chief's Love Story?
I'm not.
Okay, don't worry. That's every year for our Christmas episode, we watch a Hallmark Christmas movie and critique it here on the pod.
Awesome.
That's our movie this year.
Do you do like ratings, or is it just?
Yeah. Okay.
What's
Some amateur
Amateur hour.
what's the highest rating you've ever given one?
Well, the highest possible rating is it's called the Roadhouse Challenge. Don't worry about why. Is 4 roadhouses. Now during Christmas though, it's like you get ho-ho-hos for everyone. So like a 4 ho-ho-ho would be the best
Amazing.
possible rating.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
like the best possible.
Well, I'll let you
I'm
know.
just going to give you a little sneak peek. I don't think Holiday Christmas is going to, or Holiday Touchdown's going to reach 4 ho-ho-hos this year.
And honestly, I thought the top rating was 5 ho-ho-hos. So I'm learning something.
You're
Maybe it's
confused
5.
on the criteria.
It's one of the 2.
So as Maddie mentioned, she's been a little busy and hasn't had time yet to fully
don't worry about that.
research
It'll happen
Holiday
soon.
Touchdown, which will happen very soon. And y'all will be watching it over Christmas, and you'll think, wow, they should have told me not to watch this. She's been busy because women's soccer's in the College Cup today down in Cary. You should go immediately, right now, as soon as you hear this.
Well, here's the problem, Adam. It's sold out.
Yeah, tickets are tight.
Yeah, it's too hot a ticket.
Have you had a bunch of people asking you for tickets? Like, Maddie, I want to go watch, but I can't figure out how to get tickets.
Yes, so I have a huge family. My parents are divorced, so I have 4 parents and also siblings. So, you're given 6 tickets, but it's like that doesn't occupy all of my family members. And so I've been trying to figure it out, but it's been crazy because a lot of the athletic teams, want to come and support, and it's sold out. So it's been really hard to navigate trying to find tickets, but it's been so cool to see that it's already sold out and that they'll have an opportunity to play in front of that many people.
Yeah, it's going to be a great event. Carolina and Duke in one semifinal, Wake Forest and Stanford in the other. So a lot of local teams, all ACC teams, so should be good action.
Why are the Tar Heels playing so well right now?
Yeah, I think we're just really gelling at the right time. I mean, we've had a couple of injuries that have kind of come back in later in the season. And, Olivia Thomas, Evelyn Shores, they've finally been getting back into the games, and that's been really instrumental for us. And then I think, me coming back, it was hard to really kind of become, a part of the team. But I think the team welcomed me back, and I've just been kind of, making connections on the field at the right time. And I think overall everyone just knows that I feel like women's soccer comes out to play when it's championship season. And so I think for us, we're just really set on, winning a national championship. And I think everyone's really bought into that. And you've been able to see that in the last couple games.
So, Maddie, when you say coming back, if people don't know where you were, why don't you explain what you were coming back from?
Yeah, I was in Colombia for the U20 World Cup. It was an amazing experience. Wouldn't trade it for the world, but it did take away from my time here. And, coming back, the team had already been playing games. And so, I really had to try to mesh when I came back. And that was a little difficult at first, but the team was so welcoming and they made it a really easy transition. So it wasn't really hard at all, but that experience was really awesome.
What's Colombia like? I've never been there, and I'm going to break some news to you. I'm never going there.
It's actually really beautiful. So the mountains are a really big part of the landscape there, and then just the way their community, embraces soccer is just something I've never experienced before. We had fans that were there that weren't necessarily even cheering for the U.S., but just loved the game of soccer, and that was just so cool to be a part of and to see how much their culture embraces soccer.
What was your first game back?
My first game back, I'm trying to think.
It doesn't matter.
It feels so long ago.
Well, I remember we talked on here about
Virginia.
Yes.
Virginia.
We
yeah.
talked on here about your first game back. There was a play where like you and Kate were like working together, and we talked on here about Maddie Dahlien makes a big difference when she's back. Like you can just see it. How are you able to go from one set of teammates to another set of teammates, but still feel like the chemistry's there?
Yeah, well, like I said, my teammates did an amazing job at welcoming back, and you mentioned Kate. I mean, we've played with each other since freshman year, and I have a really strong connection with her and Tessa. I mean, they're my classmates. We came in together, and kind of seeing our connections come to fruition this year has just been something really special. They're really special to me, and I think, didn't necessarily, get a ton of playing time our sophomore and freshman year, but it's kind of been our time this year, and I think I'm just super grateful for them, and you can kind of see those connections coming to play when I came back.
Obviously, there's been a lot of transition for the program this year. From the player perspective, take us through kind of everything that happened, your thoughts and emotions while it was happening, and how you guys have been able to take some steps forward.
Yeah, I think, it was a huge transition period for us, but I think we kind of looked at it from the perspective of we can kind of create our own narrative and create the culture we wanted to create. And I think also, with the interim, all the, the hiring going on, I think it's been really important for us that we've been playing for Damon. And I think just our results and our wins come to show that he just has done an amazing job with this group. We always knew that we weren't the most talented, but we could bring the chemistry and the connection on the field. And I think for us, it's just been even bigger motivation because, people counted us out coming into the year. And I think it's just been, let's prove them wrong. And we've done absolutely that. And I think, it just proves that chemistry can take you the farthest. And I'm just so proud of everyone because we've really stuck to that the entire season.
You said you could create the culture you wanted. What did you want the culture to be, and what was your role in making sure that existed?
Yeah, I think we've done an amazing job of having a balance of, holding people accountable, but also uplifting everyone. And I think the difference from last year to this year is not that we weren't doing that. It's just, we were able to separate what was happening on the field to off the field and to really hone in on our connections off the field. We had 12 players in the spring, so it was really vital for us to create those connections. And we were able actually to become a lot closer just because, there's 12 people, so it's easier to really hone in on making those individual connections. And I think you could really see that going into the fall because when the freshmen came in, we just really made it a goal of ours to make them feel as welcome as possible. And I think you can really see that on the field.
I don't feel like people know Coach Nahas very much. Like, I just don't feel like we had him in here and talked to him and had a great time when we did so, but he seems like very calculated, very just kind of straightforward. He's all about soccer. Like, what should we know about him?
Yeah, I think the best way to describe him is he's very, all business on the outside, but he's, kind of a teddy bear on the inside.
It's like you, Adam. Yeah, that's right.
He really cares for his players so much, and I don't think he necessarily, gives that off to the public, but especially this year when times have been maybe a little uncertain for him, I think it's just really come to showcase how much he cares for all of us and how much he wants us to succeed. After I just saw on Instagram a video of us after the Penn State win, and, he was literally in tears just of how much, we mean to him and how much this season of success has meant to him. And I know we made a poster too of saying remove the interim tag and everything. And I think it's not even for him, it's not even about that. It's just, proving everyone wrong who counted us out this year. And I think we've just really, I've been able to connect with him a lot more this year just through all the struggles. And I think it's just been an amazing year all around. And like I said, he can come off as all business, but he really cares for each and every one of us. And it's just been really awesome to see how we can kind of pay him back and how our success can kind of showcase that, he deserves the job and everything.
You said struggles and hard times, and you guys are 20-5? Is that right?
Yeah.
I think that's a relative term. Now, there may be other. I understand that there's been uncertainty and some struggles in that way. But what kind of struggles do you think you guys have had?
Yeah, like I said, the injuries have played a massive role in some of the struggles we've gone through. I mean, players have been in and out. Trinity Armstrong was with the U17s and I was with the U20s. And then, like I said, we brought in a ton of grad transfers. So it was just everyone was new to each other and we really had to build new connections. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like we had a ton of returning starters. I mean, I only think we returned one current starter who's in our starting lineup. So I think it was just getting everyone on the same page, everyone bought into the common goal. But I think, through all the struggles, that makes your team even better. And you can see it on the field. We just love playing with each other. And I mean, I'm just so grateful for the grad transfers who came. They've been such a vital part of our team. I mean, Claire, she's from Minnesota. It's been so fun to have another Minnesotan on the team with me. And, Aria, Rue, all of those girls, they've just played such an amazing role on our team. And I think that's more what I'm saying struggles, is just kind of working through those new pieces.
For better or worse, and largely it's 99% better, there's a lot of people who care about Carolina women's soccer, including just a giant alumni base who has been very successful. What would you want them to know about the current team that maybe they might not know because maybe they didn't play for Damon or whatever, and maybe they feel like I'm trying to get to know these girls a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's almost one of those things where you can't fully experience our culture until you're at practice every day. I mean, Damon does an amazing job of keeping the things that Anson has instilled in our program. We still utilize the competitive cauldron every day, and there's data analytic boys at our practices every day. So those things that Anson has created for our program are still a part of it. But I think one of the things that Damon brings that is just so unique is every practice every day is different. His technical and tactical awareness of the game is just off the charts, and I don't really think you can experience that until you really see one of his practices. It just, for me, as a player, it just keeps you on your toes. You never know what you're going to get that day, and especially for me as a player who, I have my speed and everything, but I think the tactical and technical part of my game is something that I wanted to grow in, and he has just done an amazing job, and I've learned so much, and I think you can only really experience that if you're at his sessions and really dive into what he's trying to do.
I feel like my only hope of being on this competitive level is to be a data analytic boy.
Yeah, you're a data analytic boy.
That sounds like something I might be able to do.
So U.S. U20 team, North Carolina, when did you realize that, man, I'm good at this? This is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, coming from Minnesota, I wasn't really on the radar of, U.S. scouts and everything. But like I said, I just owe everything to Damon and Anson. I mean, they really put me on the radar of the U.S. scouts and put me in positions to become an even better player. And, I had definitely areas of my game that I needed to grow, and they really helped me in growing those areas. And I just really owe it to, to my teammates too, are some of the best players in the country who push me every day at practice. You're going to get better when you're surrounded by the best players. And so especially my freshman and sophomore year, I was surrounded by players like Allie Sentnor, Avery Patterson, who are making amazing seasons in the league. And so, I looked up to them and I saw areas in their game that I wanted to implement into mine. And so just being a part of this soccer program, I think has, pushed me to be able to do those U.S. things and to become a better player.
You seem, this is the first time I've met Maddie. You seem very sweet, very quiet. I'm guessing maybe it's a little different on the pitch. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, you could say that.
You flip a sweat. How does competitive Maddie come out?
Yeah, it's actually really funny. So the trainers, whenever I'm on the field and something happens, they know not to come up to me in game because I'm very different on the field than I am off the field. But yeah, I think I'm very competitive, so that really turns on when we're in game.
Is it just game day, game time? When does the flip switch?
Honestly, I would say all day game day. Sometimes my parents are like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm just really locked in and ready for the game." So yeah.
You are obviously faster than anyone on a soccer field. And in high school, you tell me if this is wrong. You won the 100, the 200, the 400, and the long jump. That is pretty athletic.
Thank you.
How fast are you? Could you run track at Carolina? Are you that fast?
I believe so. I never trained for track, so that was kind of just an alternative sport that I kind of just wanted to run for my high school, and it would be interesting to see if I actually trained. And I think I could. I really love soccer. Like, that's always been my true love, and so I don't necessarily know if I could give everything that I give to soccer that I could to track. But it was just really cool to be able to experience a whole different sport. You know, it's all individual, everything's on you, and it kind of made me appreciate the team sport aspect even more.
I feel like because you're so fast, you get fouled a lot, especially like in the box. I get mad when you get fouled in the box and they don't call it, but I think they don't call it because you're so fast. And they're like, well, there's no way that could have happened realistically because she was there so quick. Do you feel like you don't get a positive whistle because they just don't understand how fast you are?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, since I have drawn a ton of PKs this year, so I think, maybe refs are a little more hesitant because I do draw so many fouls, but sometimes I do say maybe I milk it a little bit more
We'll cut that
than
part
I
out,
should.
Maddie.
We'll air this after the college
maybe
cup.
air that out because maybe hopefully one's coming Friday. No, I'm kidding. But I think it is harder to control my body, like when I am running so fast. But I do think I do play to the defenders. They do have to. If I'm running at them and I cut, they do have to foul me in order to get to the ball. And also that I kind of experienced that in the World Cup too. I drew a couple PKs on the World Cup team. So yeah, I would say it's like a lot harder to control my body when I'm running fast, but maybe sometimes I could stay on my feet a little more often.
No, these hooligans on the other team are fouling Maddie nonstop. That's what I've learned. What do you like to do when you're not playing soccer?
What do I like to do? I love spending time with my friends. I'm a huge TV show watcher.
Oh.
Yeah.
What are some shows that you have banked up? What are some shows we should watch?
Recently, I've been watching Yellowstone.
Oh, yeah, it's so
Adam's
good.
big Yellowstone
So
fan.
good. So good.
Did you watch it? Did you watch it before the long break?
I did.
When it came back, I was
Right
like,
away.
I liked it so much.
Yeah,
I missed it more
was
than I
so
thought.
good. But I'm also like a classics. Like I love Friends, all of those shows.
Look at that.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much in my free time, I'm like pretty tired from soccer and school.
Sure.
So, but I really enjoy spending time with friends, going out to dinner. I'm also a big family person. So, my mom actually has a house down here, so she's able to come visit a lot, and my family gets down here a lot. So I love when I'm able to see them. But it's mostly soccer.
Okay, I consider myself to be an honorary Minnesotan because I've spent an extensive amount of time there 2 nights earlier this football
Yeah,
season.
and
Okay.
went to the state fair.
That's what I wanted to ask you about. Have you been to the Minnesota State Fair?
Yes, so actually, this is interesting. So my stepdad's mom has a booth at the state fair.
Whoa.
I might have been there.
It's called the Sausage Sisters.
I've not been there.
It's in the food building if you want to
Okay,
go
I've
next
been to the
time.
food building.
But it's actually like it's a very well-known booth. They make every year they make like a special sausage. It's like wrapped in pastry dough. It's really good. But to your point, I've been there multiple times. It's the best thing ever. But usually it's during soccer season now, so I can't really go, but hopefully later on I can maybe go back.
I've tried to explain this on here. Explain the difference in the Minnesota State Fair and the North Carolina State Fair, which is a great fair that I love.
Yeah.
But the Minnesota State Fair is different.
So I actually can't speak to the North Carolina State Fair. I've never been. But I think it's because I don't think it compares to the Minnesota State
look,
Fair.
when you've been to the top,
You don't want to go to the,
Right, yeah.
the lower, yeah. But the Minnesota State Fair, I think, our whole state is bought in. So that just speaks for itself. But the food is just amazing. You're going to come back with a stomachache every time.
Have you been to Paisley Park?
I have.
What'd you think?
Amazing. Yeah, amazing. So that's actually about like 15 minutes away from my house. I would drive by it on my way to the field all the time, and it was just it's really cool. Yeah.
What's your favorite Prince song?
whoa. This is like the lightning round.
Yeah.
We're doing the Minnesota round right now,
I'm
Jones.
trying to think. Purple Rain, that's just like so basic. So I'm trying
It's
to
good,
think.
though.
I Would Die For You maybe is a good one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's your feelings on the Juicy Lucy?
I love the Juicy Lucy. My dad actually makes them all the time on
Does
the
he
grill.
really?
Yeah.
He makes them at
really
home?
good. Really
Jones, do you know what
good.
that is?
I have no clue.
Go ahead,
Really?
go ahead and tell
It's
me.
a burger filled with cheese, like melted cheese.
Filled
in the
with
middle.
The cheese is inside the burger.
So it's like in the middle of the burger.
So you just make it, you make the burger with the cheese.
And you don't
at
have
the
to
same
top it
time?
with cheese because there's already cheese in there. I forgot about those. That's a great point.
They're good. I had
Summer
my first one
classic,
this
yeah.
fall. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really good. Okay. kind of a related question to your Minnesota background. So it's going to be cold today, probably, more than likely.
Yeah.
You wear the gloves.
I did. It's kind of shocking to some people.
It is a little surprising. Doesn't the Minnesota blood keep you immune from the cold?
It does,
and do
but
those really help?
I've been here for 2 years now. I think my blood is starting to thin a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, I think what I like to tell people is because Tom Sander, our equipment guy, gives me a really hard time because he's like, "You're the Minnesotan, shouldn't you be used to it?" And I'm like, or I'm just prepared because I've experienced it before. But yes, the gloves really help. But I have been wearing them recently because I've been in charge of throw-ins. So I don't want my hands to be numb. I want to provide my team with a good throw-in. But
I thought they might make it harder to throw it in. Like you can't get the feel for the ball.
Yeah, maybe I should roll with the no gloves.
No, don't change anything.
Superstitions don't change
Remember,
anything.
I don't know what I'm talking about, and you do. You're on the U20 team, and I watch it on TV. So you go with what you think works.
This is going to be the 4th meeting with Duke this year. Duke's won twice. Carolina's won once. I assume you guys know each other pretty well at this point. What does that make any difference at this point? Or, does it play a role in any way in your mind?
I don't think it really plays that much of a role. I think, they're an amazing side. Like, we're going to have to bring our best game, and, they're going to bring their best game. That's what happens when Duke's playing UNC. But I think for us, it's just focusing on us, doing the things and focusing on the things that we can control. And I think it does help us in a way that, we've seen what they do. We can, scout tactically what they do, kind of make changes towards that. But I think just most important for us is focusing on us and our goal. And Duke's just, a step in the rest of the process and kind of in our way for our national championship. And so I think, I respect them so much as a side. Like, they're an amazing side. And, what better way than to go to a national championship if you beat Duke. So I think it'll bring everyone's best game, but I think we just need to focus on us and our goal.